the tracks where Formula One winner Max Verstappen started on a dominant winning note, yes, as it took the Bahrain Grand Prix during the course of this weekend. He was able to ensure that the talks about the Red Bull team principal Christian Horner did not more or less getting perturbed or disturb him, as he was able to lead his teammates Sergio Perez ahead of Ferrari's Carlos Sainz. Of course, those are the people. These are the drivers that finished in the top 3 position. Of course, going into this race in Bahrain, it was filled with a lot of talk about Christian Horner's controversial incident about the in-house inquest going on about him and some of his the relationship he had with a particular member of the staff of Team Red Bull. But then it did not disturb Max Verstappen as he went into the race. Although at the end of the race he stated that he was a little bit distracted, but said that, hey, the controversy was not any of he or his teammates' business, and he was focused on performance, and definitely he gave a total dominating performance on the night. Of course, was able to pull away from his teammates. That's his teammates in Sergio Perez to eventually finish in top position rather. Sergio Perez coming second, and then of course Ferrari's Carlos Sainz coming third. Of course, for Lewis Hamilton, it wasn't really a good race as he finished in 7th position, and then of course for Lando Norris of McLaren, he came 6th, and then George Russell came 4th in the standings, and then of course he was able to ensure that for Mercedes, they were able to make a statement for themselves, and then another McLaren driver in Oscar Piastri was able to come. He came 8th, and then Aston Martin's pair of Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll completed the top 10 finish. Of course, interesting time as regards Formula One. We know that, of course, all the part apart from the Christian Horner story, there's still some of conversations going on about will Lewis Hamilton bow out on a good note with Mercedes, with him now in his last season before he moves over to Ferrari. So, well, Max Verstappen has started on a very, very good and dominating note. Of course, he's chasing his 4th title. Hopefully, he will be able to equal the last Red Bull driver to do 5 world championships in a row, and that's Sebastian Vettel. Yes, when was it? Red Bull, he won the world championship 5 times in a row. And so, Max Verstappen looks like he might, of course, want to equal that and hopefully make a statement for himself. But of course, there's still conversations between how Christian Horner's comment leaked messages with his member of staff and all that, and hopefully Red Bull will be able to put that behind them and make ensure that they go ahead to eventually or possibly defend the construction championship, and of course Max Verstappen defending his position. Moving over to the basketball court, where LeBron James became the first NBA player to reach or to surpass 40,000 points, the 40,000 points mark in NBA history. Of course, for LeBron James, became the first NBA player to reach 40,000 career regular season points in early hours of this morning, rather, the victory over Denver, on defeat to Denver Nuggets. Of course, we know that Denver Nuggets are the defending champions. But for LeBron James, stated that it was a bittersweet experience for him after he saw his team lose by 10 points margin. The loss to the defending NBA champions, Denver Nuggets, 124-114. Of course, for LeBron James, he scored 26 points on the night. Of course, and as well of he didn't. Definitely, he did not miss out on talking about being the first player to ever do something as surpassing 40,000 points. Of course, for LeBron James, instead of being the first player to do something, it's pretty cool in this league. You just know the history, you know the greats have come through. Of course, within 10 minutes and 39 seconds, he was able to put his side in the driving seat in the second quarter after Lakers were leading with 37 to 32 points, having a 37 to 32 points lead. But however, for Nuggets, they've now stretched their winning streak to 6 games, thanks to, for me, MVP of the season, waiting MVP of the season, Nikola Jokic. He scored 35 points, of course, to ensure that he made Denver Nuggets get past a big team like LA Lakers. Of course, for LeBron James, he has now become the all-time leading scorer. He became the all-time leading scorer February last month when he passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's long-standing record of 38,387 points. And so now, for LeBron James, now he has already reached the 40,000 point mark. And of course, he remains the NBA one of the biggest, in fact, not just being an NBA legend, but standing and a living one as well with all what he has done. So, of course, when the out his health, he's able to take care of the body. You have to press on the floor, and when you have to be as well, of course, his coach, Davin Arm, was also giving a lot, talked about how it's an honor to James in his team that he is happy for. It's a good accomplishment, and so hopefully they'll be able to have an amazing run, and it continues all through the course of the season, because they also are looking forward to ensure that they are in that playoff spot. They've had a couple of good results for themselves, and so it's been a good one for themselves. Of course, results from other games in the NBA, we had Houston Rockets defeating Phoenix Suns 118-109. Of course, later tonight we see Philadelphia 76ers taking on Dallas Mavericks, and then of course Golden State Warriors taking on Boston Celtics. Of course, more or less like a repeat of 2022 NBA finals, but then hopefully Warriors are been in a good state with Steph Curry and his teammates. They're doing quite well, but it'll be an interesting encounter between Golden State Warriors and Boston Celtics. Of course, later tonight as well, LA Clippers take on Minnesota Timberwolves, and of course Orlando Magic will be away to Detroit Pistons, and then we have Toronto Raptors, 2019 NBA champions, against Charlotte Hornets. Well, that's so much we could take on all the sports. Now we just take the short breather and get to report on Lagos traffic.
All right, so at this time, let's see what's happening on some stretches in and around the Lagos metropolis. Okay, so I have this one from the Ajasa command end where traffic is very good, still very good from Ishefun to link Megida and Ayobo at this hour. Alaja Road is having it good. Amule Oluwaga Church Roundabout also good to go. Return journey from Church Roundabout connecting Ayobo is an appreciable one. You have nothing to worry about. Adefemi Ikola Ojodo, Dock Center and Command Secondary School Junction, also quite good. But as you approach Command Secondary School Junction, it's gathering momentum, and this is just due to evening rush, coupled with commercial activities ongoing around that corridor. Ekora Junction, perfectly good. Traffic light is alternating very well at that. No impediment, and the traffic managers very much on their toes, doing the needful around that end. Back to you, Logo.
Thank you, Akan, for that update. Of course, we're taking stories from the Nigerian from the local scene, where we're starting from the MPFL. Well, a couple of interesting results have gone down. Of course, we know yesterday was a quite interesting game between Remo Stars, who ensure that they put themselves in a very good note as they are chasing the first time they would ever they'll be in the chase for the Nigerian Premier League title. And of course, they had a pretty good result, defeating Bayelsa United by a goal to nil, courtesy of Adams in the 72nd minute. Of course, other results that went down today, and in games that have been concluded a couple of minutes ago all over Nigeria. Yes, we have results. Atlant FC playing a 1-1 draw with Sunshine Stars. Of course, second minute go by Awosomi of Sunshine Stars, and of course in the sixth minute of the Atlant were able to equalize courtesy of a goal from Okafor. And then of course Niger Tornadoes lost at home to Enugu Rangers by 2-0. Lobby Stars ensure that they are still in the race and chase for their for the Premier League title as they defeated Katsina United 2-0. And then of course it was Plateau United 2, Bendel Insurance 0. 2 goals. The 2 goals were scored in the second half of the encounter. Of course, tomorrow we'll see the likes of Doma United hosting Sporting Lagos, and then of course we have Aqua United hosting Elimba of Aba, and then of course we have Kano Pillars are hosting Abia Warriors. Of course, so much of stories still coming from the local scene, where we know that Rivers United, yes, later today they will be playing in the CAF Confederations Cup against Dreams FC of Ghana, and of course that game is currently on in the 87th minute, and it's Rivers United 1, Dreams FC 1. Rivers United have to win this game if they want to have any chance to qualify to the quarterfinals of the encounter. Yes, of course they had to come from a goal down after Aziz Issa of Dreams FC scored the first goal of the encounter in the 40th minute for Dreams FC. But then, of course, through Eteta Dennis, he was able to get that equalizer for Rivers United in the 61st minute. However, Dreams FC are a man down now, and hopefully, if Rivers United could capitalize on on Dreams FC being a man down and go ahead to win that encounter. And the other group game, it's 1-1 between Club Africain of Tunisia and of course Academica of Angola. Well, it's quite interesting. Academica of Angola, Club de Lobito of Lobito, Club de Lobito, Academica of Angola. If this game ends like this, they will be getting their first points in of the tomorrow campaign, group stage campaign, because they've lost all 5 games, and then going to this game they did not have any point. But then it's quite interesting to see how it pans out for Club Africain. If this result remains the same, they have 10 points and they could finish as the second team to qualify with Dreams FC of Ghana, who are leading that group with as it stands right now, they have 13 points because it's still 1-0 between them and Rivers United. And of course, it will not be a good result for Rivers United because they would bow out with 10 points. But then, Club Africain have more goals than them. Club Africain having +5 and Rivers United having +1. Well, we hope that as the game goes on, it's 9 minutes gone now. It's still 1-0 between Rivers United and of course Dreams FC. So hopefully they will be able to bounce back and get at least clinch second position. Of course, still with news from the home scene, where we know that it's really not looking so good. Reports, we already know that Coach Jose Pacero has stepped down as the Super Eagles coach. However, no vivid report or any update has come from the federation on who is going to be taking that interim position. We know that reports have circulated round that Osine Guavon looks like might be there, but then there's not been any official statement from the FA. However, we still have the likes of Finidi George, because he is the assistant coach to Jose Pacero. Of course, that he was the home-based manager to Jose Pacero, so he also will be part of the conversation on whether he will have to be taking the interim role. And he's not doing bad with Enyimba so far. They're still in the chase to defend their title. But then, so many names have now popped up. We've had the likes of Pito Mitsimani, more or less names linked to the job. Of course, we have Emmanuel Amunike linked to the job. And of course, we know that Gabon took us to the 2021 African Cup of Nations in Cameroon. Of course, we all know that we got knocked out in the second round by Tunisia, but then his name will also be in that conversation. But then, hopefully, before the month runs out, we'll definitely have much more reports to give, and we'll have a clear understanding of who will be the next coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Moving over to basketball from the home scene, where the Rivers Hoopers, yes, they'll be taking part in the Basketball African League 2024, which is going to be hosted. The Sahara edition will be hosted in Rwanda, and of course, ahead of the Sahara Conference, the coach of the Rwandan side, APR, has stated that the Rwandans are ready. Of course, he has been. They went to a camp. That's APR of Rwanda went to a camp in Qatar, and then a 5-game friendly. And in it all, they had 2 games against the Qatari champions, Al Rayyan, and they won all of the encounter. And so, for the coach of APR of Rwanda, he has stated that he's happy to see what his players are now doing, and he knows that they have what it takes to go far in the competition. Of course, like I said earlier, Nigeria, the representative of Nigeria in the Basketball African League are Rivers Hoopers, and then of course in the same group with Rivers Hoopers they have APR of Rwanda, and then there's US Minister of Tunisia, and of course AS Douanes of Senegal. So hopefully Rivers Hoopers will be able to make us proud and make a very good impression of Nigeria in the Basketball African League. Well, so we'll just take this breather, and then of course next time talking about all things football from the European scene.
Alright, let's check out the CBD Marina axis. The entire stretch of Inner Marina Road at this time is good to go. Likewise, the entire stretch of Broad Street is in good shape. Traffic is still good from Onikon underneath the bridge towards Flagstaff House, connecting McQuaid Bridge and towards VI, while from State House connecting Force Road is good. Movement from Onikon roundabout towards TBS inwards Waterboard, connecting Nital intersection is okay. All other areas looking good and calm, no impediment. On the Third Mainland Bridge, all the way, looking, of course, we know, so Third Mainland Bridge, good movement all the way from Adekule Interchange onwards journey Yanworo, on route to Lupo Meiji and Bagada Expressway. Bagada Expressway inwards New Garage and Car Wash, looking very good to go.
All right, thank you, Tom, for that update. And of course, going over to Europe, where it's a couple of minutes ago, it ended 3-1 in favor of Manchester City as they came from a goal down to defeat Manchester United in the Northwest, rather the Manchester derby at the Etihad Stadium. Of course, quite interesting. In the 8th minute, Marcus Rashford took the early lead. Fantastic strike, but then United were not just able to capitalize on their chances, and sadly, in the second half, Phil Foden was able to also got his name on the score sheet with a fantastic strike. I must say, I saw that that goal was very beautiful, was a good one, and then of course that was in the 56th minute, and then of course Pep Guardiola brought in Javi Alvarez to see how to shake things up, and of course he gave the assist for the Phil Foden's second goal in the 80th minute, and then I would say more or less a defensive mishap or a lack of concentration, more like it, a lack of concentration from Nordin Amrabat, where he allowed Rodri to get the ball off him, and then Rodri just gave a good pass. And of course, Erling Haaland, who has been looking forward to make a statement for himself after scoring 5 goals during midweek against Luton Town, got that chance and it buried down. So it ends 3-1 in favor of Manchester City, and they have caught the lead between themselves and of course themselves and Liverpool to just 1 point. They have 63 points, 62 points rather. Liverpool have 63 points, which more or less it's a rehearsal, a dress rehearsal towards next weekend's game against Liverpool. Yes, it's going to be Liverpool against Manchester City, Super Sunday game. I mean, who writes the script of the Premier League? The first versus the second. Way to see how that pans out. Of course, other results that were other results from games in the Premier League this weekend. Yesterday, we saw Chelsea play a 2-0 draw against Brentford. Nicholas Jackson, part of the goal scorers. And then, of course, a controversial goal maybe for Darwin Núñez. He scored in the 98th minute, where Liverpool had to dig in deep to defeat Nottingham Forest by a goal to nil. That goal, the head of the referees, PGMOL, that's of Clattenburg, has stated that goal shouldn't have stood, or rather because there was no need for that long stretch of time. But then, hey, it happens, and we just have to move on with such issues, VAR, referees, indecisions, and so many conversations. But that's why it's the Premier League, and that's why many people like to follow it all over the world. Fulham defeated Brighton by 3-0. Adama Traore getting his first goal in a Fulham jersey since his move from Wolverhampton Wanderers. And then, of course, Aston Villa defeated Luton Town by 3-2. Oli Watkins with the brace there. And then tomorrow, of course, Arsenal take away to Sheffield United, but it's not looking like a good one for Burnley, as they lost 2-0 earlier today to Bournemouth with Justin Kluivert, one of the goal scorers, and then of course Semenyo of Ghana getting the more or less the goal that just sealed the encounter for Bournemouth. And then of course results from the German Bundesliga. Well, I call it German, but normally I usually call it the German Bayern Liga. But then with the way it's turning out, Bayer Leverkusen look like they are going to be the runaway champions. They had the 2-0 victory over FC Cologne. Midday game, they defeated FC Cologne by 2-0. Alex Grimaldo, one of the goal scorers. Of course, our Victor Boniface is still recovering from his injury, but then he's now in training. And so Bayer Leverkusen have gone 10 points ahead of defending champion Bayern Munich, who look like they might not be able to defend this league title after playing a 1-0 draw against Freiburg. And then, of course, Offenheim is 2 goals up. And the 70 minutes gone now. Offenheim 2, Werder Bremen nil. Other results from the German Bundesliga games that were played yesterday. We had Borussia Dortmund defeating Union Berlin by 2-0. Eintracht Frankfurt defeating Eindhoven by 2-1. And then, of course, RB Leipzig 4. VfL Bochum 1, of course, was an away victory for RB Leipzig. And Augsburg defeated Darmstadt by 6-0. Of course, moving over to the French Ligue 1, where looks like PSG are trying to prepare for life without Mbappe, but they played a goalless draw over the course of the weekend against Monaco. Though they still lead by about 8 points because of the Brest have their game later today. But then in other results, Olympique de Marseille defeated Clermont by 5-1, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was part of the goal scorers, of course. And then, of course, in the Italian Serie A, yes, AS Roma defeated Monza by 4-1. Later today, it's a big game between Atletico Bilbao and FC Barcelona. Well, that's so much we can take on today's show on Sports Lounge. My name still remains Oluwole Logo X. Ensure you obey all traffic rules, obey every user on the road. Have a blissful week ahead. God bless.